Nanu. Thank you for joining this video. I don't normally do a straight to camera talking to the viewer type of video. I ought to do more of that because I get some fantastic comments to some of the videos, and what I ought to do really is to actually just reflect on some of those comments more. So I will try and do that much more in the future. Now I've actually saved some of the comments onto my phone. I'm just going to go through them. So in the last couple of videos I have been trying out a end-fed, half-wave end-fed antenna. I've had some interesting comments on that, so I'm just going to read them out and just reply to some of those comments. So the first one on the phone is from Wayne. Wayne is a chap that has followed, has pretty much watched pretty much most of my videos now, and always takes the time to put a comment on the video. So thank you, Wayne, for that. It's been really supportive of the channel. Hi Carl, this is a video that I did from working from the Land Rover. I was using the MFED, again using the MFED, but the very long version of the MFED half wave, which was cut for 80 meters, so it was 40 meters long. And I was just wondering whether I ought to put down a bed of radials, because when I was working 80 meters on a low slung MFED half wave, I was worried about getting lots of unbalanced, lots of the RF coming back down the feed line and affecting the Land Rover and the radio. And I did get some of that when I was trying to do FT8. The laptop I was using just would not work. The USB kept freaking out because of all the RF coming back. So I was contemplating, should I use radials to try and balance things out a bit. He used nothing but end-fed wires with ununs for the matching network at his home QTH. I love them for their simplicity, and I do not use any radials on any of them. I have for 80 and 20 and one for 40, and they always work well and very reasonable SWR on them. So I had a few people mention they never use radials on a end-fed. What I mean, why would you? In many ways, because you've got one part of the antenna is the wire, and then you pretty much use the feed line, and then you can choke it off right at the end of that feed line when it gets to the radio. And I was just wondering whether actually laying down some radials before, to actually just spread the load a bit, to give a bit more of a reflection off the ground. Okay, another comment is this is from JH Knive, and again this was when I was getting RF into the truck off the end fed, and it was affecting the use of FT8, use of a computer with the USB cable. You need a choke wrap, 12 turns of coax around a toroid, and your problem is solved. Just done it in his QTH. One or two people have mentioned actually if you do choke it off at the end, but I just felt that the feed line coming from the unon snaking round the vehicle into the vehicle, even if I had a choke at the end of that, I've still got RF coming. I think I've still got RF being radiated from the shield of the coax. So I wonder if choking it off at the end by the unon and then running radials out, would that work? Another comment. Okay. This is from Keith Nolan. Hi Carl, great to see you're making longer antennas work. This is at the usual campsite that I've got access to, where especially during the autumn and winter there'll be less people camping there, so I can start to think about longer, bigger antennas there. I tried a homebrew 160 meter band antenna last night while working portable. Could you be tempted to attempt top band portable some evening from a tent? I think that's a great idea actually. We did try, me, G1, WHP and M0RMY on a previous trip out. We actually tried to set up a dipole for 160, which is 135 meters each, 135 feet each leg. So one leg will go all the way over there, another leg will go maybe over there somewhere, and try and get on there some sort of low band later on, hopefully. Right, well, we're getting there. So what's the verdict on the humongous doublet that you built?
Absolutely shite.
We ended up snapping one of the vertical telescopic poles that we were using to try and lift it up, because the weight on the antenna on the pole. I'm tempted to do a very long, like a 160 meter antenna. I would use the very thin gauge from Sota Beams. I've got a reel of it. I've probably got about 80 meters left of that. So it's possible. I could try that using the main mast that I've got and a fiberglass pole at the other end. I reckon I can get enough wire in the air to make 160 work. That's definitely on the cards during the winter time from the barn. So not so much in the tent. I can probably do it from the barn. I had from David Poole, VK5 PL, great idea of using the bungee cord to peg the end of the wire down to absorb the wind flex. This is one of the ideas that I had, born from frustration mainly, where when you've got weather really blowing in and you've got a long wire from a telescopic pole going down to a peg in the ground, when the winds, when the pole's whipping, it's actually pulling on the wire going down to the peg. So I've found a bungee cord that's got plastic rather than like a metal hook on the end, and that allows me to peg that down, but with some flexibility, so at least absorbs some of the whip from the wind blowing around, and that works really well. Okay, this is from Hakan. I do apologise if this is pronounced incorrectly. Hakan Koseglu. This is. I took with me on the last barn trip 2 antennas. I took the end fed, and I also took the inflatable air antenna for HF. It's meant to be for 20 meters, and to be honest, I'm really struggling with the antenna. I'm not feeling it. I'm not at the moment. I'm not enjoying the antenna. My inflatable antenna doesn't work well. It's very sensitive to ground. That's what I've discovered, and the way the cable lies on the floor. I made QRP contacts with FT8 on 30, but was really poor with transmission. For RX it works, but not TX. Hanged it from a tree, poles, windows, the same, because I was trying to hang it from different heights, and I was seeing the SWR change on all of that. When I plugged that in to the IC7200, I could receive relatively decent stations. I wouldn't dare transmit on it because the SWR, I had no confidence in it. I mean, physically, scientifically, the antenna is going to be majorly compromised on 20, especially on 30 as well, even more compromised, I should say. So I reckon that as an emergency, could that have some use to sending out data, sending out JS8 call maybe? I don't know. I'm struggling with that, to be honest. And here's a question from Tommy, or Tommy R. What headset and mic are you using? Another fine video, thank you very much. Okay, so the Heil, so these are Heil BM17, BM17, Really lightweight. They do fold neatly out the way. You know, you can get them into quite a small space. I do like them, I must admit. They are really light. They've got a decent sound, but they are very susceptible to RF, because the shielding in a lot of this wiring is really skinny. It's not much in the way of decent shielding, but it's a really light headset. The audio is fantastic through them. It really pairs nicely with the IC7200, and it just so happens to fit in the carry case that I've got for the 7200 as well. And so Heil BM17, cracking little set if you've got RF under control. Right, okay, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you on the next video. Bye bye for now.